there may be people that say that some people had it easier than others, but everyone's path is different. But everyone's going to learn from the path that they do take.
Hmm.
Some people may never learn,
Right.
uh, but I believe that most people do, and
Yeah.
then they choose what they want to do with the experiences they've dealt with.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, the problem's not the problem. The problem's the way that you respond to the problem. Like what are you going to do about it? Everyone has a sad story. Everyone,
Mhm.
has issues. Everyone has problems. But at the end of the day, like it's up to us. Like they
Yeah.
always say, like if you come from a broken family, like it's your job to change that. If you're born poor, like you're okay. It's not your fault that you were born poor, but it is your fault if you die poor. You
Right.
know, if it's not your fault if you had a broken family, but it's your fault if you die with a broken family. History
Mhm.
repeats itself, and we have to be a bloodline breaker. So I got this thing right here.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says bloodline breaker.
Yeah.
So, and not that I came from this horrible family. I have a great family,
Right.
but my dad was 17 years old or 16 years old when he had me. My
Yeah.
mom was 19. Those are kids having kids. So
Uh.
yeah, they messed up and they were toxic for a big period of my life. And obviously they have changed and they learned and they have grown,
Yeah.
but that rubbed off on me a lot. So I was toxic, but like at
Mhm.
the end of the day, I can't blame my parents. Yeah, it might have sucked. And, the situations that I did blame them for a period of time, but like at the end of the day, it's like, you got to accept, ownership and responsibility. There's this quote that I heard the other day.
Mhm.
It says, "If it is to be, it is up to me." It's in this book that I'm reading, this audio program that I'm listening to. It's called The
Yeah.
Compound Effect.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of it. And similar to me, so my mom was 17 and my dad was 19 when I was born.
Yeah, oh, dude, yeah,
So, I get it. And it's tough. And especially growing up in a single parents household, it's tough. And sometimes, everyone just needs a mentor because it's hard going through life without a direction. And as long as someone finds that direction, the pieces start to fall together.
mhm,
But I think it just everyone needs to know what they want out of life, because I feel that some people don't realize that everything that you want in life is attainable, and people just they say that this is the lies that they were born in, like basically like a caste system, but it's all in the head.
this is the card that was dealt with. If the
Yeah,
mind can conceive it, like if God gives you these visions for a reason, if the mind can conceive it, the body can achieve it,
yeah.
right? That comes with like the law of attraction, things like that. And yeah, man, like if you can envision this, like everything is attainable, but having a mentor is super important.
Hmm.
And one thing that my mentor, his name's Luke Ward. He and I talk about him a lot. Everyone hears me talk about him. I
Hmm.
love this guy. He's like a big brother to me. He's like because I'm the oldest of four, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
just I have three younger siblings, but I'm the oldest, right? So I never really had like a big brother. I've had like friends and stuff like that were a little bit older than me and stuff. I always got
Hmm.
along with older people, our older cousins and stuff. But there was like a big age gap. And so when I met Luke, like Luke holds himself to a really high standard, and he taught me to reverse engineer my goals. Like you literally have to break it down. Like if I want to know how much money I'm going to make, I need to know and this is not just to get into talk about money, but this could be applied in any way. But this is the best way I know how to explain it. So if I know how much
Hmm.
money I want to make, right, I have to write that down, and then I have to know what my numbers are. Like how many appointments do I have to set? Okay, then I write that number down. Okay, now how many doors do I have to knock to set that many appointments? Okay, and then how much time do I have to spend? So like literally I reverse engineer down to like, okay, so I need to be hitting 100 doors a day. If I hit 100 doors a day, I can set 4 appointments. If I set 4 appointments a week, that's 16 appointments. 16 appointments times 4. I'm bad at math, so whatever that number is, you know what I mean. And just like if I,
Yeah.
so that's how I'll know what I need to do. And so I can just reverse every goal that I have in my life, and just bring it down and boil it down to the ridiculous. And so it's about winning. Like if you got to win the hours. If you win the hours, then you could win the day. Because like a lot of people will set goals and they set like this New Year's resolution, and it's just like such a huge target. You really have to reverse engineer it and break it down
Hmm.
into simple and bite-sized pieces. Like you ever heard that term, like the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time, you
Oh
know?
yeah, yeah,
Thinking about
yeah,
eating this whole ass elephant,
yeah.
like not that it sounds tasty or nothing, but you have to like if you have to win the day. If you win the day, you win the week. If you win the week, you win the months. If you win the months,
Hmm.
you win the quarter. If you win the quarter, you win the year. And that's how you can accomplish your goals. Not just set like this huge target, like, oh, I want to make $1 million this year.
Right.
Okay, well, what's the plan of action? What's your course? What are you going to do? What are you doing on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a weekly, daily?
Mhm.
So you just have to reverse engineer, and having a mentor that knows how to do that is very, very important. Because a lot of people will look up to these people, but these people don't even ask you, like, call you out on your bullshit. Like, my
Right.
mentor always hit me up. He told me a couple weeks ago. He's like, bro, like, what's going on, dude? Your numbers are taking a dip. And because I was comfortable, right? I was getting comfortable. I was like, I just made $100,000 in 90 days. I'm chilling. My dad calls it the well-fed lion syndrome. And so, like, just boom, I snapped out of it. I'm back on it. Like, I'm having my best week that I've had. I sold the most kilowatts, which is like the size system. Like, probably made like at least like 60 grand so far this week just selling. And obviously, I haven't been paid any of this yet.
Yeah.
This is just money that's sold. Are deals that have been sold. So it's money in the pipeline. Things could happen. People can cancel. It is what it is. But I'm just to
Mhm.
keep stuffing and stuffing and stuffing my pipeline with new customers, new business, and all of it will end up just working out by itself.